Hello, this is Sabina at Cross Keys Crafts. It's December the 8th and I'm opening the new slot in my homemade crafty advent calendar. If you haven't watched the beginning of the series, I put dies in this box that I haven't used at all or I've only used once, and I decided to use them this December, and I'm going to make cards with these. So for today I have got these dies. Get this out of the way. These are, I think it's called a reveal wheel, and you cut two pictures from this and you somehow slot them into each other and you turn the wheel and it turns from one picture into another. Don't know what is stuck on it. I have never ever used these. I saw this online, somebody used it, and I thought, yes, I really need this. But then I found this a bit intimidating and I wasn't quite sure which pictures to use with this. My original idea back then was to use some some calendar pictures. I've got a kitten calendar I kept for this purpose, so I'll probably dig that one out, but I have to investigate online how to actually use these, because they actually have to be slot into each other. So I'm going to be doing this, and I'm going to create the card, or I might pop in if I need to show you how to put this together. And then yeah, I'm curious to see how it works, and I love a challenge, and I'm glad I've got an opportunity to use my stuff at last. So I see you again later for what I've created. Well, this was anything but straightforward. I have finished my card at last. It didn't take me as long as it took me to record this because I had some other chores in between. But yeah, it all seemed straightforward. I found a video on YouTube, which I'm going to link to below, and it all seemed straightforward, cutting all the bits out, and I stamped on the card. I used, by the way, some stamps from the Creative Stamping magazine from October. It's a late October issue. The reason why I bought this is actually, let me just get the card out of the way because the stickers aren't dry yet. On page 11 I have one of my cards featured, and I was really chuffed with that. So I obviously bought the magazine, and it came with two stamp sets. One is a Christmas cat stamp set. Let me just zoom out a bit. And one is a dog Christmas stamp set, or a winter stamp set. And I thought this would be a great opportunity today to use these, because you may think I'm silly, but my cat gives a Christmas card to my friend's dog. So I thought this would be a really nice opportunity to use these stamps. So I stamped this all down. As I said, I die cut the bits and I assembled it all, and it looked all easy, but the mechanism didn't work. And that's one of my tips for you today. If you buy a mechanism and you see it, let me just zoom in a bit again, and you see it on one of the reliable pages, I'm talking like Craft Stash or whatever, it's worth paying the expense, because mine is from AliExpress. I saw it possibly on that video that I linked to, and I just thought, oh, you know, why pay a fortune for this? But I believe that the inner circle is actually not big enough, because what happened after I assembled it all, I followed the instructions and the wheel wouldn't open completely, and that was so frustrating. So my second tip is for you. If you make one of these cards, or any mechanism card that you want to make a prototype first, just with the cardstock you want to use, and figure out whether it works properly before you stamp it all down, colour it in, because that was really frustrating, taking this apart again and finding out why it went wrong. So I did make one from cardstock, and I figured out how to alter this to make it work. I basically ended up making these slots wider, because it was just a slim slot, and the one in the back, you can't see these now, I basically cut the slots longer, and yeah, this is the only way I could make this work. I'm just going to show you how it works. So you've got the little tab here, and you just push it across and it opens, and it is still a bit tight. And then you see the second motif, which is, well, it's actually a kitten, but it's supposed to be my cat, John, who's a little black cat. Well, little, he's 12 years old. So it is not easy, but it does work. I have, by the way, stamped these, and then I coloured them in with my watercolour pencils. I've got these Derwent watercolour pencils. They are really nice. They are really soft. And I had originally decided to leave them just like crayons, but then I went over them with a wet brush, not too wet because this is not proper watercolour cardstock, but it made it actually look a bit nicer because the dogs and the cats were grey before and now they're actually more black. I then stamped this bauble that came in the set as well and coloured that in and went over it with a brush. And for this topper here, by the way, the one that came with it, the die, again, it was a bit too small for that sentiment I wanted to use. So all I did was trace around this and cut it out by hand. So that's a little trick for you. If you don't have the right size, you can always cut something by hand. By the way, if I cut circles by hand, I used my curved nail scissors. I find that so much easier using a curved pair of scissors. And yeah, what else didn't you say? Yes, I put stickers in here for the berries. I'm still waiting for them to dry. They will flatten out just a wee bit. And yes, all in all, I am satisfied with this. But as I said, my tip is don't waste your money on dies like these, mechanism dies from Asia, because I'm not sure I'm going to use these again unless I want to keep on cutting bits out. So I don't know yet what I'm going to do with these. I have seen something similar where people use dies like these to make candy cane sweets, but I don't know if I'm going to use these again or whether I will actually put these in the bin. But yes, at last, I said to you, I do like a challenge, but it was quite a challenge to get this one finished and a bit frustrating on the way. But I'm sure Tilly, my friend's dog, will like this card, and so will her mummy and daddy. Okay, that's it for today, and I see you tomorrow with the next video.